I think a lot of people didn't understand until very recently how much relatively politically uh uninvolved people were really bothered by some of the changes that they were seeing within society. And I've been surprised when talking to people who are relatively offline, relatively not into news and politics,
Mm.
how hot of an issue that has become. And I agree. I think it is a huge I think it's a huge political liability at anyone to not be willing to address immigration at some level. I'm not unhappy about deporting criminals and illegal immigrants from this country.
Mhm.
I'm not happy with how they're doing it. But, with very little process, all this type of thing it is, in for me, very unacceptable. I'm on board with the idea because I think we do have to, stem the tide somewhere, somehow. And I think and I think this is starting in Britain now too. It has brought out a nationalism that this country hasn't seen since about this time last century. And it's very easy for things to get very draconian very quickly. And as someone who's a person of color in this country, that tends not to end very well for us. We kind of end up being collateral damage when that happens. So that has me a bit nervous about what's going to happen with that. Because we, be glad you don't have our racial issues.
Mm.
And in this country, that could lead to armed conflict quite quickly because we have more guns than people.